There are certainly some challenges in having an acre or so of garden here in rural northern Thailand, particularly during the wet season. And this year it has been really wet. There's been a lot of flooding up in Chiang Rai in the north and even Chiang Mai now, but we've still got work to do. And the best time of the year to be pruning your trees, to be really reshaping the garden is now, because as we cut trees back, they're going to spring back to life. They're going to keep growing during the rainy season. This means that they will fill out again and not look like they've been cut back too hard for very long. We've got a bit of work to do up here because we've got a lot of trees that are growing crazy. So we need to prune them back, and yeah, especially this area at the top of the road, make them look really nice. And I've got some help with me at the moment because my brother's here. Can tell us about how you can help us?
Yeah, I'm Lawrence. I'm Kevin's brother. Most of my gardening experience has been in the Northern Rivers region of northern New South Wales in Australia. Similar climate to here, not quite as hot, but recognising a lot of the plants and the way they're sort of growing in the warm, wet weather.
So you've done a lot of gardening, a lot of landscaping.
Yeah, mostly maintaining people's properties and yeah, some development sort of permaculture based ideas. So using the resources that are available on the land and trying to minimize bringing in resources and taking waste away. Use everything we can. See how we go here.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just
pruning to do.
Show you what I think we need to do. So this, what we call our yellow flowering trees are these ones. Just cut them back because they're just going to overgrow. These grow really tall. So we just need to, cut them back and shape them. And then, clear underneath here a bit and shape it nicely. But then further inside here, so come in and have a look back here. So this area here, it's some of the first trees we planted and they've grown really tall. So
it's getting very dense.
Yeah, really dense. And then some of the lower ones are struggling to get enough light, and even some of the taller ones, there's a lot of dead wood in there. So we'll try and take some of that out. Tidy it up. And then Pansa's we've got some canna lilies that we want to plant along underneath, but we've got to cut it all first and clear it away first to make that happen. Yeah. But then the main part of what we want to do is down at the front section. So let's go down there and have a look at that. Down here, this is front of our guest rooms and stuff. So we want to make sure that this is nice. And originally we didn't have any trees here at all because we wanted the view, but it's too hot. So we've grown these trees and they're fabulous, but now they're too tall. So I've cut some of them back. And so I need to just sort of manage that canopy on these ones a bit. And then also I want to create windows so that we can sit here and look out across at the rice fields and up at the view. So that's the main thing here. So I'm thinking, I don't want to cut everything out to make one big window, but maybe a series of smaller windows. And then looking down this direction, I was sitting just here the other day, and then if we open up a window through here, then we can look further down into the garden as well.
Have a sense of space.
With some sort of depth to it. So we'll look at what we can do there. And then also in these trees here, there are quite a few dead branches and a lot of dead wood up there that's just not getting enough light, I think. So if we clear that out, then they're going to be a bit healthier. And then, some of these ones here, like this is fabulous. This is we call it a honey tree. It's got a really lovely scented flower, but it's just too heavy, and it just sort of droops over. So so we'll clear the vines but cut it back because it'll just keep growing. But I think it's drooping over again because the canopy's such that it's just blocking the light, so it's not able to get enough light. So We had a variety of tools to work with, including a new one, which is a little electric chainsaw. It was great either to use in our hands or on the pole, the extension pole that came with it. But we also used some traditional loppers and saws, hand saws, and the trusty machete, which I think is about the most common tool here in northern Thailand amongst farmers. And as we went, we just, chopped and dropped, try to keep it as tidy as possible. Some of the bigger pieces we dragged down to the back of the section, and I'll use those to make biochar. It'll be a really great collection of smaller pieces to make biochar from. This will then be put back into our garden to help rejuvenate our soil even more. And as we went, we just kept an eye on things, kept looking to see what was necessary, and as we took some pieces off, just checked again to see how much more we wanted to take out or to leave. And early the next morning I went down and trimmed the yellow flowering trees that run along the boundary of our neighbours' rice fields on our land. And I like to keep these trimmed during the growing season, during the rice growing season, so that they're not putting shade onto the rice, and so that it opens up the view a bit more and we can enjoy watching the rice grow. And I really wanted to get that done before it got too hot or it started raining. And then we really got into the area of the garden in the front of the guest rooms. We made a start by trimming some of these tall, straight trees that have a beautifully scented flower. They smell like honey. So I was a little bit sad to be pruning them at this time of the year because they're flowering, but they are just too heavy and in the way, so they were leaning and drooping over and blocking the view. So they were trimmed back, and definitely will come away again. We've trimmed the back a number of times and they have no problem to continue to grow, particularly at this time of the year when it's so wet and humid. And then we got to work on some of these shrubs, these lower growing plants. Trimming pieces, taking pieces out, asking my wife if we're allowed to take whole trees out, and at times she would say yes, sometimes she would say no, that's a beautiful flower, or that one was too expensive, we've got to leave it there. Not only does she provide good camera work, but she provides good direction as to what we can and cannot take out of the garden. And continuing to use this pole saw, which was a great help. It makes things so much safer and so much quicker. We don't have to get up and down the ladder so much, or at all sometimes, and it just really meant that we could take out some of the smaller, higher branches and the dead wood that was really causing a problem and really blocking the view. And then continuing to trim other pieces that were hanging down and blocking the view. And so just as we went, just reassessing the situation to see how much we wanted to remove and how much we wanted to keep. And also a big part of it, especially on some of those lower shrubs, was pulling the vines out. We've got this weedy vine that loves to entangle itself in some of the shrubs, so it was good to get most of that out. And this has really opened the way for more light and more breeze. We're going to get more airflow, which is something Lawrence had really pointed out and emphasised. And this will help just get more airflow through the house, but also through the trees, so that they're not going to be left damp for too long, which can create problems with mould and insects and such like. And then the task of clearing it all up. We did this as we went somewhat, but there was still quite a bit more to do as we hauled it away back down towards an area where I will then convert it to biochar once it's dried out. And now down here at the front of the house, in front of where our guest rooms are, the view is looking much better. We can see it clearly through the trees there now. You can't see too much up to the mountains today because of the cloud, but it certainly here has opened up the view across the rice fields, looking up to the palm tree that you can see, and then just creating windows through here, and it's fabulous. I'm so thrilled. I've never worked on a section like this before. I've never had such big trees and such a lot of growth to work with and to prune back. So again, having my brother here who has had experience in these things was a great help. We were able to really discuss what we'd do. We'd take a couple of limbs off and stand back and have a look and discuss which other limbs would need to come off to really benefit the trees and also to benefit the view that we wanted to open up. We've still got a bit more work to do up in this tree here. There's still a lot of dead wood, but we need to clear our desert roses from under there first because I will not be popular with my wife if tree branches come crashing down on those. And then also further down, I want to open up some more of this here and clear the area right down past the pizza oven so that it will lead your eye right down into that gap there. But I'm absolutely thrilled. I've not had, like I said, not had this experience before of having to trim trees and cut trees down as much as this, or to cut limbs off, cut branches off as much as this in any one go. But it has been a great project and very encouraged that I must keep this up every season and maybe even twice a year, maybe attack it a little bit more, tackle it a little bit better at the beginning of the rainy season and then also further into the rainy season again, as we have done here. So we've still got some cleaning up to do. There's still some branches lying around and leaves to clear away. But like I said, we'd had such a lot of rain that we haven't been able to get to it. The other area that I've really worked on was down here along the boundary with the rice fields. Again, here's more of our yellow flowering trees. These are the same ones that we'd planted up the front of the section, and every year I bring them back down to just below the level that the rice will grow so that we can sit up on the lawn there and enjoy the view over the rice. But in the midst of it all, my poor vegetable garden has been pretty much ignored, and as is cutting the grass and things like that. But with the pruning done, or most of the pruning done, I'm very happy, and we will just continue to work away at it as time allows and as the weather allows. It's really nice today, so we've got some work to do. And up here where we started this project, it is looking pretty bare. It's quite amazing the way that the reshaping has happened. We took out quite a lot more than I'd envisaged that we would at the start, but as you can see, some of these trees are starting to come back already. We've chopped and dropped, which means that most of what we've cut is just laying on the ground underneath the trees, and this will provide good mulch for them, and also it'll help to suppress the weeds, which is good. So we've really opened this area up. And through here, Pansar wants to plant some herbs, and then there's another good area here that we'll weed. We'll get some decent soil in there, and we'll plant a bunch of herbs, or move the ones that we've got down by the kitchen up into this area because there's enough light there now. And these trees here that we call our yellow flowering trees because they have beautiful yellow flowers, they grow vigorously, but we really want to keep them a bit lower than they have been in the past. They were trimmed just over a year ago, so now they will bush out a bit more, and I'll aim to keep them trimmed down so they don't get too big and shade the house too much and shade the rest of the garden too much. Up at this part of the section, this is where we started, and it got cleared pretty quickly. We were very pleased with that. We've got a good set of tools that helped, so that little electric saw was brilliant here. And then here, if you can remember at the start of the video where we showed you it was really dense, now it's not nearly as dense as it was because we've taken quite a lot out. These trees here we've trimmed a fair few pieces, a fair few branches from, and really opened up this whole area under here. We've also taken out one of the bigger yellow flowering trees from just there that was creating too much shade. And then under here we took out, again, much more than we'd thought. But as we started looking, there was a couple of trees here. We've taken one out altogether that was here that didn't have much on it. And then this tree here that had grown really tall, we've taken the top out of it, we've taken some of the branches out, and just then decided that it's time to take the whole thing out, which will open this area here up and the bank a little bit, and we'll just redevelop this area. We were concerned about the growth of this tree because it's so tall and it was growing very close towards the house, and it's only going to get bigger, only going to get more problems in the future. So we decided to take it out and then just rework this area down here. We've cut back a lot of these lower trees as well, and then also reworked the area through here. We've already got some planted, but we're going to make this a bit of a shade garden. And then Lawrence really worked on this area up by the patio of the family house. So we've still got a bit more to take out there. He didn't want to take out too much without asking. So he's done a great job up there, and it will really bush out again, I'm sure, and just be a really nice open area, but still kind of close the eye to between the family house and the guest room down here. So that's a great improvement all around there. Again, I've got so much gratitude for having my brother here. It was great to have his help. It would have been a huge task to do it by myself. It was a pretty huge task to do it with both of us, and we still haven't finished yet because it just got rained and rained and rained out for days on end. I've cleared a little bit more away this morning. We've still got some more cutting to do. We've still got some more work to do, but that's for another day. Now other family members are here. My sister's here, my mum's here. So we don't want to be working all the time. We've got some sightseeing to do and some catching up to do. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to learn more about what we do here at Suan Sook Homestay, please check out this video here. Thanks very much for watching.